Hello students. So this is the third video on acids, bases and salts. In the previous video, you have learned about the pH in our daily life and some chemical properties of acids. Today we will learn some 2-3 experiments to show different qualities, different properties of acids. The first one is that acids, the first experiment is that acids conduct electricity in aqueous state. Why? Because they are dissociated and form H plus ions in water, and these H plus ions or H aqueous is responsible for conduction of electricity. This we will prove by a simple experiment. First of all, suppose we take 3 beakers and form a electrolytic cell. How the cell will be formed? Take this rubber cork, put 2 nails, simple iron nails, which will work as electrodes, and connect these iron nails with a battery, a switch and a simple bulb. So an electric circuit is made. I can put bulb here and switch here. So this is the electric circuit I have made. These are 2 electrodes of iron nail. This is rubber cork. This is conducting wire. This is switch. This is bulb. And this is, suppose this is 6 volt battery. So an electrolytic cell is prepared like this. Very simple. And we put in this beaker dilute solution of hydrochloric acid. Likewise, in the second also, I will make quickly the cell, the bulb, what is left? This, and again the second electrolytic cell is prepared and we put dilute sulfuric acid in this. In the third, in the same way, dilute nitric acid is put and this bulb is again in the circuit. So these 3 electrolytic cells are prepared. Simple. What happens when we switch on the switch? When is this switch is on, what happened? What we see that all these bulbs, they start glowing. In all the 3 cases, the bulbs start glowing as we switch on the switch. Because why these are glowing? Because as the electricity is passing in this electrolyte, now this is electrolyte, and the circuit will be completed. How? Because this HCl, it will be dissociated into H ions and Cl ions in the aqueous solution. And these ions, they are responsible for conducting the electricity. When electricity is conducted, then this bulb will glow. Likewise here, H plus SO4 ions are formed. Like here, H plus nitrate ions are formed. In all the 3 cases, electricity is conducted by the ions of dilute acid in aqueous solution and all the bulbs are glowing. It proves that acids are good conductor of electricity in aqueous solution and they are dissociated into ions. So this is our first experiment. In second experiment, experiment 2, we want to know whether all the compounds which are having hydrogen, all these acids, you know, they have hydrogen. In all the three you can see hydrogen is there. Even acetic acid, lactic acid, all the acids have hydrogen, whether they are weak or strong. So in experiment 2, we want to prove whether the compounds which are having hydrogen, they are conductors of electricity. Can they be dissociated in aqueous solution, or they are acidic in nature? We will prove by taking two compounds. One is glucose. All of you know the formula, C6H12O6. This is glucose. And second, we take ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH. This is ethyl alcohol or ethanol. So both these compounds, they are having hydrogen. Glucose is having hydrogen, 12 atoms. Here also hydrogen is present, and even OH group is present, and 5 hydrogens are present. So these two compounds, you know, they are organic compounds, and we want to know whether in aqueous solution, can they conduct electricity? Can they be dissociated into ions? We will, again the same experiment we will do. Suppose instead of HCl, in the first beaker we put glucose solution. In the second beaker we put alcoholic solution, ethanol. What we will see, when the switch is on, the bulb is not glowing. Although we have put switch on the switch, the circuit, but the circuit is not completed. Electricity is not flowing. Why the electricity is not flowing? Because these are not dissociated into ions. When there are no ions in the solution, in the electrolyte, it is not electrolyte even. When there are no ions in the solution, electric current cannot be formed, electricity cannot pass, and these bulbs, they do not glow. So this proves that all the compounds, though they are having hydrogen, but they are not acidic in character, and they cannot conduct electricity. So this is our second experiment. In third experiment, we will see whether these acids can conduct electricity always in aqueous solution only, or they can have these H ions in dry state, not electricity. So the experiment third, in third experiment, in third experiment, what we will conclude, that acids form H plus ions only in aqueous state and not in dry state. So without water, these H ions cannot be formed in acids. This we will prove by a simple experiment. What is the experiment? In a test tube, first we take NaCl. Sodium chloride is taken, dry sodium chloride, salt, it is taken, and we pour concentrated H2SO4 in this test tube. If concentrated H2SO4 is mixed with these NaCl crystals, and we put a delivery tube here, and this test tube is closed via cork. So what will happen when this NaCl and H2SO4 are present in this test tube? What will be the reaction? NaCl plus H2SO4 will be Na2SO4 plus HCl. This HCl is formed in the form of a gas. So HCl gas is formed, which is liberated from the delivery tube. Now what to do next? We put a blue litmus paper in front of this delivery tube from where this HCl gas is coming. But we will see after passing this HCl on the blue litmus, its color does not changes. Otherwise, in acid, the blue litmus should turn into red, but here the color is not changing because this HCl gas is dry and it is dry litmus paper. What we do next? If we wet this litmus paper with water, what happens? This HCl gas which is coming to wet litmus paper, now it is dissociated into H ions and chloride ions. So now H ions are formed and this H, all of you know, with water they will form hydronium ions. So these hydronium ions or H plus aqueous, they are formed in the wet litmus paper and now the color of the litmus paper, it turns red. It means acids only give these ions in wet condition or in aqueous condition. In dry state, these HCls, these acids, they lose their acidic character. Acidic character can be shown only in wet state or in aqueous state. So these are three experiments to show different properties of acids. Now with this, acids are finished and now we will go to coming to the bases. Bases, we have to learn all the three, acids, bases and salts. The next in series are bases. All of you know bases are different from acids. Acids are sour in taste, they are corrosive. Bases are bitter in taste and they are soapy to touch. So bases, and what should be the definition of the special important properties or characteristics of bases? First is they destroy, first important character is they destroy acidic or H ions of acids. What does it mean? When H ions of acids are destroyed by bases, then they neutralize the acid and salt and water is formed. So this is the main characteristic of bases, that is with acids they form salt and water. Second important point is they may have OH ion in solution or may not have. It is not important that all the bases they give OH ion or hydroxyl ion in solution. As acids, it is mandatory, it is necessary to give H ions, but for bases it is not mandatory to give OH ion or hydroxyl ion in solution. Without giving hydroxyl ion also, they are bases. So this is the second point. First, they destroy these ions. Second, they neutralize acids to form salt and water. Third, they may have OH or ions or may not have OH ions. And what are the important bases? They are, suppose they are mostly metal oxides and metal hydroxides. For example, calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, these all are bases. So mostly they are metal oxides and metal hydroxide. Now these bases, as we have learned previously also, they are of two types. They can be classified into two types, which are insoluble in water and which are soluble in water. The bases which are soluble in water, they are known as alkalis. And these alkalis are important as most of the reactions, they are taking place in aqueous state. So when these bases, they dissolve in water to form alkalis, they give hydroxyl or OH ion. The examples of alkalis are important NaOH, KOH. These two are most important and they are the strongest alkali and their pH is near 14 or 13 or 14. The other alkalis which are there but not so strong, they are magnesium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide. These are some examples. Some hydroxide. These are the metal hydroxide. Magnesium and calcium are metals. And one more, NH4OH. It is also hydroxide of ammonia, ammonium hydroxide. This is also alkali, weak alkali. These are also weaker than this. This is the weak alkali, but it is a non-metallic alkali. Nitrogen and hydrogen both are non-metallic. These are metallic hydroxides. This is an exception, non-metallic hydroxide, because you know NH4 is a cation. So NH4OH is an alkali which gives OH ion in solution. So this is a weak alkali. So these are some examples of alkalis. Alkalis are important than simple insoluble bases because with alkalis reactions takes place in water or aqueous solution. Now these are the stronger having this pH and the weaker they have a pH somewhere between 17 to 13 or 14. So their pH starts from 7 and they have a higher pH. So what are weak bases and what are strong bases? We can see by two figures and how they are strong and weak. Suppose we took two beakers and took water in these beakers, two beakers. This is NH4OH is a weak alkali or a weak base. So we put NH4OH in, this is water, in water solution, and here we put suppose NaOH in water solution. What will we see? The NaOH is completely dissociated in sodium ions and hydrogen ions. It is completely dissociated. The two ions, hydroxyl and sodium, metallic ion, cation and anions, this is completely dissociated into water and Na and OH ions. But this NH4OH, some of its molecule remain as such. They do not dissociate and some dissociates in ammonium and hydroxyl ions. Less dissociation is here in this and more dissociation or complete dissociation is here in sodium hydroxide. So this is a weaker base and this is a strong base whose pH is near 14 and its pH may be somewhere 8-9 because it does not dissociate completely into ions in aqueous solution. So this is what we know about bases. Now the chemical properties of bases. We have studied chemical properties of acids and now we will study very simple chemical properties of bases, and these chemical properties of bases, we will study three properties. Chemical properties of bases. So one base reacts with metal second base reacts with acid, and the third one, base reacts with non-metallic oxides. So only three, we have to learn only three chemical properties of bases, and these are very simple. So what should be the first? Base reacts with metal. We know all the acids, they react with metals and hydrogen gases formed. All of them can react, all the metals can react with acids, but very few metals are there which react with bases, only very few, and we will take that only zinc and aluminium. They react with bases, and the radical which is formed, it is not Zn and Al. They are not on the cation side. They formed an anion. The minus radical is formed when bases react with zinc or aluminium. So I am writing the equation. Suppose we take this alkali or base. Now you know the difference between alkali and base. The bases which dissolve in water, they are alkalis. It means all the alkalis are bases, but all the bases are not alkalis, because all the bases cannot dissolve in water. So we take this NaOH plus Zn. Zinc metal, because we are having this reaction, base reacts with metal. What will we get? We will get Na2ZnO2. This is a special kind of compound, a salt plus hydrogen. So is it, I think this is a balanced equation. So what is the name of this compound? The name of this compound is sodium zincate. Sodium zincate. This ZnO2 is present as a anion in this compound. This is metal, this is also metal, but this metal with oxygen forms an negative ion or anion. So this is a special reaction. Sodium zincate is formed when NaOH reacts with zinc. Very few metals are there which can react with bases. So this is one of them, and the other we will see. I have told you aluminium can also react with. So aluminium, I will take aluminium. What will formed? Again NaAlO2. This is sodium aluminate. This is sodium zincate. See the formula? It is Na2ZnO2. This is NaAlO2. So this is sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate is formed, and hydrogen gas is evolved, and water is, no, here not, water will not form here. This is 3 hydrogen, and we have to take water here to balance the equation. Now I think now it is balanced. 4, 6, 2 H2O. So 2 oxygen. Here there are 4 oxygen, 4, see 2 Na, 2 Na, 2 Al, 2 Al. Oxygen, they are 4, 2 to the 4, 2 oxygen here, 2 oxygen here, 4. Hydrogen, 6, 4 hydrogen here and 2 hydrogen here. So now the equation is balanced. 2 NaOH plus 2 aluminium plus 2 H2O is equal to 2 NaAlO2 plus hydrogen gas is evolved. So these are special compounds, sodium zincate and sodium aluminate, which formed by the reaction of an base with a metal. So this first is completed. Base reacts with metal. Now second, base reacts with acid. We have done this before in acids also. When a base reacts with acids, what happened? We have just learned that these bases, they destroy the H ions. So again, suppose I took this NaOH plus HCl. An acid, a base, what will form? All of you know, NaCl will be formed and water is formed. A simple neutralization reaction. Why it is neutralization reaction? Because this base, it destroys the H ion of acid, HCl. This is displaced from the acid and it forms water with oxygen and a salt is formed. So this is a simple neutralization reaction of acid and base. Now the third is base reacts with non-metallic oxide. All of you know then non-metallic oxide, the examples are carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. These are non-metals. So these are the non-metallic oxides. Non-metallic oxides are always acidic in nature. Remember this thing, that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, where metallic oxides are basic in nature. As they are acidic in nature, this base can react with non-metallic oxide to form again salt and water. So the third reaction is, again we took the same base, sodium hydroxide. Suppose it reacts with carbon dioxide. It is carbon dioxide, but it is a non-metallic oxide. Oxide of carbon. Carbon is a non-metal. So oxide of carbon or a non-metallic oxide. What will be formed? Sodium carbonate will be formed and water will be formed. Sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. So this is a salt. Sodium carbonate is formed and water is formed by the reaction of these bases with non-metallic oxides. So with this, the chemical properties of bases are finished. This is all about bases. In the next video, we will study salts, and this video is part 3 of acid, bases and salts. This is all. Thank you.